At long last, right, I finally bought this bloody car. So those that have been following me for a while know that I've been wanting one of these things for a long time, and this particular car, this actual car, is the one I've been trying to buy for over a year now, and I finally bought it. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to finally introduce you lot to my new Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. This car, I've literally lost sleep over this car. So those that have been following me for a little while will know that about a year or so ago, when I was buying my RS6, I was trying to buy an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. I've got to get used to saying that long-winded name more often in my life. I did actually find the correct spec Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. It had all the stuff I wanted on it. The guy that was selling it, I said to him, I'll buy it off you. I was chasing him. He's like, yeah, when I'm ready, I'll sell it. I was like, mate, you've got it advertised. Do you want to just take it off the net if you don't want to sell it? At the time, I wanted to buy this car. This car was up for sale with a trader up in Doncaster. He bought it himself brand new, so it was his own car. He obviously daily drove it for a couple of years. Put it up for sale. I said to him, I want to buy that car. I want to pay asking price. When can I collect it? And he was umming and ahhing, and he didn't want to sell it. And I was like, mate, you've got it advertised. Like, do you just want to let me come up and buy it? And he had personal issues and stuff. He went into details. I won't pass the details over on YouTube, of course, with respect to him. But then the car just disappeared a couple of weeks later off the internet, and it was never to be seen again until about probably 2 months ago. The same ad come up for sale with the exact same pictures, and I looked at it and I thought, that's that same car again. So I rang the guy up. I was like, mate, it's Calvin. I spoke to you about a year ago. I want to buy your car. Just send me your bank details. I want to send a deposit. I know, like, you're not too keen to part of it, but I'm guessing you're ready now. And he was like, oh, I just don't know if I want to sell it. And I was like, is he for real? Now, the reason why I really wanted this car was because of the spec that it's got. It's really, it's got a really exceptional level of spec, and I'll go through that in a sec when we go for a wander around the car. I was like, mate, what's going to make you want to sell it? He's like, oh, just give me time and I will sell it to you. So I kept ringing him. I texted him a few times. He was ignoring my texts. He then began ignoring my phone calls. I managed to get through one day and spoke to his wife, and his wife was like, do you know what, he needs to sell that car. I don't know what he's doing. I was like, oh my God. So long story short, very long story short, I ended up buying it off of another car trader. Shout out to my friend Ibby, who's our buyer up in Bradford. He sorted it all out for me, and I've just had it delivered yesterday. And yeah, this is that car that I actually wanted all this time. And the reason why I wanted it is, like I just said, because of the spec level. So what I'll do is I'll flip the camera around, we'll go for a little wander around it, and I'll show you why this car is so unique over definitely every single Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, what a name, on the market right now, but also over a lot of them that are on the road. So let's flip the camera around and go for a little wander around it, yeah? So I've got the spec list here from HPI, and it was, I don't know if you can see it at the top there, it was £60,000 new or just shy of that, and it had £8,000 worth of extras, which is obviously a hell of a lot of money. So this car is in competition red. Now that is a very, I would say, notorious or classical Alfa Romeo colour. Now this, from factory, when these cars were new, they came as standard with this colour paint, so it was free to have this colour. But this particular version of this colour is actually called a tri-coat. So it's a pearlescent version, which you can't see right now because it's very foggy. There is no sunlight. But in the sunlight, it's a pearl colour. So they call it competition red tri-coat. And that was the most expensive colour option available on this car. Personally, that shade of colour is definitely not a colour I would love on most cars. But I think it looks absolutely beautiful in that car. And trust me, when you see it in the sunlight, it's all golden and it looks amazing. Moving on from the colour, the wheels, right? Again, I would say like the traditional Alfa looking wheels. They look very sort of classical looking. From factory, these cars were spec'd for nothing with 20-inch wheels. The guy that bought this car new, so they still only got one owner from new, by the way. Obviously, when I put it in my own personal name, it would have a second owner. But when he bought it new, he spec'd it with the smaller 19-inch wheels. And again, them particular wheels are the wheels that I wanted if I was to buy one of these cars. So that colour and that wheel choice, two massive pluses for me. Moving on from that, the brake calipers. If you want coloured brake calipers when you buy your Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, God, I'm going to get sick of saying that name. I need to come up with a shortened version. In fact, they're actually called Alfa Romeo, or referred to as Alfa Romeo Giulia QVs, because Quadrifoglio Verde symbolises the four-leaf clover on the wing there, which basically means green four-leaf clover in Italian. All right, if you want to know what that is all about. So is that it for the external? That is it for the external. Just so you know, whilst we're on the outside of the car, we've got a carbon fibre roof. Now, it is painted, so you can't see, it's not an exposed carbon fibre roof, but that is full carbon fibre. Again, a massive reason why people love these cars. And if you look at reviews, those that maybe don't know what these are, or don't know how special these cars are, if you look at reviews on them, you will struggle to find anything negative about these cars. They are absolutely phenomenal things inside and out. They're unbelievable. As we continue to look around the outside of the car, we've got carbon fibre side sills there, slightly flared at the bottom of the doors there, love that. And then the rear arches, I don't know if all the Giulias have got flared rear bodies like that, but they've got a real sort of, if I come around the back again, a real fat presence to the rear end of them. They're really chunky at the back. As we come around the front, at the bottom we've got a carbon fibre splitter, which is actually an active aero carbon fibre splitter. So as we hit a certain speed, I think it's 70 miles an hour, that will come down and it will create more downforce for the car, right? Bear in mind, Alfa Romeo is obviously an Italian brand, and this is a Ferrari derived car. We'll head under the bonnet in a sec. Alfa apparently don't claim that it's a Ferrari engine, but it is apparently Ferrari derived. Whatever the reason is or the story is behind that, I don't really care, but trust me, the engine is absolutely phenomenal. The rear diffuser, like what a feature that is. Again, just going to town with character. I don't think there's many cars on the road, firstly, that drive like this, but secondly, have got this much character. They're just beautiful inside and out. So what we do, hop on the inside. Do you know what? Before we get under the bonnet, let me just show you the big spec option this car's got, right? Let's flip them lights off. I left them on for the cinematics because it looks good. Right, you ready for the big party piece now, yeah? I open up the rear door, look at the back of these seats. Check them out. You can just feel little touches of Ferrari here and there. Like, them seats look like they shouldn't be in this car, but they are in this car. They were available as a £3,500 option from factory. You can buy them new from Alfa Romeo for about £6,000 if you've got a car without them, but I wanted a car with them, and that was massively important to me. Now, if you look as well, we've got carbon fibre touches. Like, there's so much carbon on this car, it is unbelievable. Look, carbon fibre again there. It was also spec for 950 quid, Harman Kardon sound system. You know, I'm a BMW guy, I love BMWs, and a well-spec BMW will come with Harman Kardon. I absolutely rate that brand. I think their sound systems are brilliant, and I love the fact that this car was spec'd with Harman Kardon sound system. Let me just pull up the spec again. Other little things that was spec with was 75 quid for ambient lighting, dark rear windows, and I think that's about it. And then finally, the carbon fibre steering wheel, that was also a spec option. Let me just pull my spec list back up and let you know how much that was. I don't think that was mega money. £425 for that steering wheel with the little start-stop button that comes with that from factory. But again, really nice thing. These cars have got the drive select mode, the DNA drive select mode. We'll talk about that when I do the first drive on this car in a future video. That'll probably follow this video, so make sure you're subscribed for that. Look at them seats from the front. Also, something else I haven't mentioned is it was spec'd with the extended leather pack, so it's got red stitching. You can choose to have that either in red or green and white. It's also got a red dash. Again, for me, that was an absolute must. So the red dash travels through the doors, obviously into the rear doors as well. And like, look at the red stitching against them red door cards. Like, oh, It is absolutely beautiful. I love this car, absolutely love it. Look at them seats again, like it's a bit of wear there. Something I want to say is this car's done 44,000 miles. I've done a poll on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago talking about the dilemma between would you rather have a high spec, high mileage car or a low spec, low mileage car. Now I had the option to buy a lower spec car with about 25,000 miles, but it wasn't this colour, it didn't have these seats, and it just was nowhere near as good a car, but it did have low mileage. Whereas this car, the car that I've wanted for all this time, has got higher mileage, 44,000 miles for a 3-year-old car, so it's about 15,000 miles a year. Higher mileage, but spec like nothing else available in the car market. For me, spec is absolutely key. 44,000 miles is not a lot of mileage for any car, and the geezer that had it from new, he's clearly cherished it because it's a beautiful thing. Let me just quickly cut something in. This little patch on the front bumper there, there was a number plate on it. Someone's pulled the plate off and the lacquer's come off with it, if you were wondering why that is looking a bit ropey. I will get that done. And the wear on the seat, by the way, I've got a plan for that. Something I didn't mention, which is really important, is the downfall with them seats is if you spec one of these cars with carbon seats, you can't spec heated seats. So you can't actually get the carbon fibre seats heated. But if you want heated seats, you can do so, but you get the really basic looking seats and they are bloody horrible looking things. So this has got the carbon fibre seats, no heated, but I've got a plan for that, and I've also got to get that sorted as well. Let me get under the bonnet. Is there anything else I wanted to say in here? I don't think so. Paddle shift gearbox, it probably is. There's Sparco seats, by the way, I'm sure you probably noticed that as I was filming. The Alfa Romeo badges in the headrest there. Love that. Bit more carbon fibre on the centre console there. Infotainment system, we'll talk about that more on the drive, but I absolutely love that. And I think what I love about this car is, where's this bonnet thing, is the fact that it's different. Let me just find this, sorry, multitasking here. Let me get this bonnet catch and then we'll get under the bonnet. Now I don't know if I've mentioned this, and loads that know these cars will know what I'm about to show you, but on the underneath of this bonnet, check that out, exposed carbon. Now what other car on the car market, especially for this kind of money, has a full carbon fibre bonnet like that? Look at that. And the nice thing is, as you drive it, so when you're driving it sat in the driver's seat, you can actually see, if I just click that back down, you can actually see the underside of the bonnet almost. I don't know if you can see it from the camera view here. You can just see a little bit of carbon just sort of winking at you as you're driving along, which is really nice. So yeah, 2.9 V6 twin turbo engine, 500 brake horsepower. So if we look at a competition pack M3, they're 440 brake horsepower. This is 60 horsepower more than a competition pack M3. They're a rear-wheel drive car. They've also got cylinder deactivation technology, so when you're chilling in comfort mode, a couple of cylinders switch off. As long as you're below 3,500 revs, you'll save fuel. So it's a really technical engine, supposedly extremely reliable, very tunable as well. It's a bi-turbo engine, so there's a lot of potential there. And as you can probably imagine, I have a huge urge to tune this car. I've already had conversations with VRS, and I am without a doubt going to try and squeeze more power out of this car, because so far I absolutely love it. Doesn't actually need tuning, I want to throw that out there. Like the way it drives in stock form is bloody unbelievable. You'll find out again. I'm going to remind you, make sure you are subscribed for the first drive of this car, because trust me, it is absolutely phenomenal. Now, what else do I want to say? I think that's everything for the introduction of this car. One thing I do want to say about this car is, through your average person's eyes, like someone that doesn't really know a lot about cars, it doesn't really get looked twice at. Like, it's a very attractive car, don't get me wrong, but if you don't know about cars, it's likely that you're probably not going to know what it is. Now, Alfa Romeo is a very petrol head brand. I think Jeremy Clarkson once said something along the lines of, if you haven't ever owned an Alfa Romeo, then you're not a true petrol head. Fair point. I'm not the biggest Alfa Romeo fan, but I am a massive fan of these cars. Now, what you do find with this car is you seem to get credit from petrol heads. And when a petrol head comes, I was just at the petrol station up the road, and a guy come up to me and he went well out of his way, walked across the forecourt of the petrol station. He come up to me and said, "Mate, them cars are amazing. That is an absolutely lovely car." And I was like, "Thank you, mate." Like, and the funny thing is, in this situation with this car, although yeah, it is a compliment to me, and I'm like, "Do you know what? Thank you, mate. Thanks for complimenting my car." It is also a compliment to him, because he's basically telling me that Mate, I'm a petrol head and I know all about them cars. I know exactly what that is and I know exactly what you're about because you bought one. So yeah, they're a very different thing. A lot of people will look at it and be like,
Cav, why have you bought an Alfa Romeo?
but most people, especially everyone in my channel, will watch this video and be like, Calvin finally got an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. That's the last time I'm going to say that word in this video. So I'm going to wrap this video up now because I think I've covered everything. First drive video coming next. So if this video is on a Wednesday, that video will be on a Sunday. If this video is on a Sunday, that video will be coming on a Wednesday. All right, so yeah, my new car, this is staying. The reason why I sold the M5, by the way, because you're probably going to be wondering what the crack is with that, I took a part exchange on the M5. Let's rewind a little bit. Basically, whilst I had the M5, I was trying to buy this car, right? And I couldn't buy it. I bought the M5 because I got offered it and I was driving it, I didn't love it, and then I realised that I could buy this car. So the M5 idea, just thought, forget that bloody M5, I have to buy this Alfa. Understandably, if you was to tune this and tune the M5 is going to win a race, but the fun that or the smiles per gallon that this thing's going to give me over that M5 is incomparable. So I've done a deal with the M5. I took a part exchange on that as well, by the way, so I'll do a video on that part exchange in the next couple of weeks. I just wanted to prioritise this, and yeah, I bought this. All right, so the M5's now gone out of my life and I've got this wonderful Alfa. So yeah, gonna leave it as that. It's very foggy, it's a bit cold. I am out of breath because I'm holding this massive camera, just passing it between both hands. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video and you're happy about the fact that I've bought this car at long last, do me a favour, hit the like button. If you are new, hit subscribe, and give me a follow on Instagram at Calvin's Car Diary. Alright, bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, well, you already know what's coming in the next video, don't you? It's the first drive of the Alfa Romeo. But what I want to do before you go is I want to just give you a little bit of a tease and show you what it sounds like in race mode. Let me just stick it in race mode quickly. See you in the next video.